The entire alpha male concept you've been sold is scientifically backwards. I'm going to show you the 3 truths about real masculine strength that actual research reveals, not what internet gurus invented. This isn't bravado or dominance posturing. This is what biology, psychology, and evolutionary science actually say about male hierarchy and strength. By the end, you'll have a framework you can use today to build genuine confidence. And if you stay until the end, I'll reveal the one trait that truly separates weak men from strong ones. Welcome back to Deeper Dudes. But first, let's talk about why this alpha male obsession has become so toxic and misleading. You scroll social media and see guys screaming about dominance, telling you to never show emotion, to control every room, to outcompete every man you meet. You're told real men don't cry, don't ask for help, don't show vulnerability. You see these so-called alpha male coaches selling courses on how to be the most aggressive, the most stoic, the most sexually successful. And if you're struggling with confidence, relationships, or purpose, you start thinking maybe that's what you need to become. Maybe you need to be harder, colder, more ruthless. Research shows that over 60% of young men report feeling pressure to conform to rigid masculine stereotypes. And this pressure correlates directly with increased anxiety, depression, and relationship problems. But here's what nobody tells you. The entire concept of the alpha male as it's marketed today is based on debunked wolf studies from the 1940s. The researcher who coined the term, David Mech, spent decades trying to correct the record. He discovered that wolf packs in the wild aren't led by the most aggressive male who fought his way to the top. They're led by parents. It's literally just a family, with a mom and dad leading their offspring. The whole alpha versus beta framework was based on observing wolves in captivity in artificial, stressful conditions that don't reflect natural behavior at all. What a load of crap that we've built an entire masculine identity industry on bad science about caged animals. So when you feel like you're not alpha enough, you're not failing at being a man. You're failing to live up to a completely fabricated standard that has nothing to do with actual male strength biology or success. I know because I bought into this myth hard. In my early 20s, I thought being a man meant never admitting I was wrong, never showing I was hurt, always being the strongest voice in the room. I destroyed a relationship because I couldn't be vulnerable. I lost friendships because I always had to win every argument. And I was miserable, constantly performing this exhausting character that wasn't even based on reality. One night, after pushing away someone I cared about because I refused to admit I was struggling, I realized I wasn't strong. I was terrified. Terrified that if anyone saw the real me, the uncertain me, the sometimes scared me, they'd see weakness. But real strength isn't a performance. It's integrity under pressure. And here's exactly how to build it. The first truth you need to understand is this: competence, not dominance. Research in evolutionary psychology and primatology shows that the most successful male leaders, whether in human tribes or primate groups, aren't the most aggressive. They're the most competent and the most generous. A study published in the journal Human Nature analyzed leadership in hunter-gatherer societies and found that respected men were chosen based on their skills, their willingness to share resources, and their ability to build coalitions, not their ability to intimidate. Franz de Waal, a primatologist who spent decades studying chimp hierarchies, found that the males who maintain long-term status are the ones who form strategic friendships, show empathy, and share food. The bullies get overthrown quickly. So here's how to apply this truth. Focus on building genuine competence in areas that matter. Not performing dominance, but developing real skills. First, identify 3 areas where you want to become truly skilled. These should be areas that serve others or solve real problems. Your career craft, physical fitness, a meaningful hobby, communication, emotional intelligence, not Instagram flexing, but actual valuable abilities. Second, Commit to deliberate practice in those areas for at least 90 days. Show up consistently. Track your progress. Share what you learn with others. Third, practice generosity within your competence. If you're good at something, teach it. Help others. Build people up. True status comes from being a resource to your community, not a threat. When I shifted from trying to be the loudest guy in the room to being the most helpful, everything changed. I started focusing on actually getting good at my work, at listening to people, at solving problems. And I noticed people respected me more, trusted me more, wanted to be around me more. Not because I dominated them, but because I added value to their lives. Competence builds quiet confidence. And that confidence doesn't need to prove itself every 5 minutes. This is where real masculine strength begins. And once you understand this foundation, the next truth becomes even more powerful. But here's where most men get tripped up, and it's something that runs completely counter to the alpha male narrative. Before we go any further, I want to pause for something important. None of what we've been talking about matters if we don't have the energy and clarity to actually implement it. We all know what it feels like to wake up exhausted. No energy, poor focus, and zero motivation. We also know what it feels like when we get good, restful sleep, targeted therapy, and the right supplements. I've personally tested more things than you can imagine. I'm like your personal guinea pig. Everything in the description below is science-backed and extensively tested. And if you grab anything through my links, you'll be supporting this channel at zero cost to you. Thanks for taking a look. Now let's get back to it. If this is helping you see through the nonsense, please hit that like button so more men can find this when they need it most. It genuinely helps break through the algorithm noise. And drop a comment. What's one alpha male myth you used to believe? No judgment, just learning together. Here's the truth about masculine strength that changes everything. Vulnerability is not the opposite of strength, it's the foundation of it. Research from Brené Brown's work on shame and vulnerability, involving over 10,000 interviews, found that the people who live with the deepest sense of worthiness and connection are those who have the courage to be imperfect, to be vulnerable, to ask for help. And neuroscience backs this up. A study in the journal Social, Cognitive, and Affective Neuroscience found that suppressing emotions doesn't make them go away. It actually increases stress hormones like cortisol, impairs decision-making, and damages your ability to connect with others. When you constantly perform in vulnerability, your brain stays in a low-level threat state. You're always defending, always guarding, never actually safe. This means that the alpha male mask isn't protecting you. It's slowly destroying your mental health, your relationships, and your ability to grow. Think about the strongest men you actually know in real life, not on the internet. The men you'd call at 3 a.m. if your life fell apart. I'd bet they're not the guys who never admit weakness. They're the guys who are honest about their struggles, who ask how you're really doing, who aren't afraid to say I don't know or I need help. The Navy SEALs figured this out decades ago. They don't train individuals to be lone wolf alphas. They train teams to be vulnerable with each other, to trust each other with their lives, to communicate fear and doubt clearly so the team can adapt. The strongest military operators in the world are taught that mission success depends on emotional honesty, not emotional suppression. And that leads directly into the second truth: connection over isolation. Here's how to apply it. First, identify one person in your life you trust. Not someone you perform for, but someone who's safe. Second, practice sharing something real with them once a week. Not trauma dumping, but honest communication. I'm struggling with this. I felt hurt when that happened. I'm proud of this progress. Just truth. Third, notice how it feels. You'll probably feel exposed at first, maybe even weak. But over time, you'll notice something shifts. The performance pressure drops. You feel less alone. And counterintuitively, people respect you more, not less. When I started being honest about my failures, my doubts, my recovery from mistakes, I thought I'd lose respect. Instead, men started reaching out to me, thanking me, telling me their stories. Because everyone is tired of the performance. Everyone wants permission to be human. Connection builds resilience. And resilience is the actual definition of strength. Not the ability to never fall, but the ability to get back up, learn, and keep moving forward. Now here's the final and most important truth, the one that integrates everything and actually defines real masculine power. The truth is this: purpose over ego. The alpha male myth tells you that life is about winning, about being on top, about having the most money, the most status, the most sexual conquests, the most respect. It's an ego-driven scoreboard, but research on meaning and well-being, including studies from positive psychology and Viktor Frankl's work on logotherapy, shows that the men who report the deepest life satisfaction aren't the ones who accumulated the most. They're the ones who contributed the most. A longitudinal Harvard study that followed men for over 75 years found that the quality of relationships and the sense of purpose were the two strongest predictors of long-term happiness and health. Not wealth, not status, not dominance. Service and connection. This is what evolutionary biology actually supports too. Human males evolved not as isolated conquerors, but as cooperative hunters, protectors, builders. Your biology rewards you with dopamine and serotonin when you contribute to your tribe, when you protect those who depend on you, when you build something that lasts beyond you. Your brain is wired for purpose, not ego. Here's the system to build your life around purpose instead of performance. First, define what you're building toward that's bigger than yourself. Not what looks impressive, but what genuinely matters to you. Who do you want to protect? What do you want to create? What problem do you want to solve? Write it down in one clear sentence. Second, audit your daily actions. How much of your time and energy goes toward that purpose versus toward protecting your ego, seeking validation, or comparing yourself to others? Be brutally honest. Third, reallocate. Cut one ego-driven habit. Maybe it's the hours you spend scrolling other men's highlight reels. Maybe it's the argument you always need to win. Maybe it's the image you're exhausted maintaining. Replace it with one purpose-driven action. Time with your kids. Progress on your craft. Service to someone who needs it. Do this for 30 days and watch what happens. When I stopped trying to prove I was successful and started focusing on actually building something meaningful, the performance anxiety disappeared. I stopped caring if I looked alpha. I started caring if I was useful, if I was growing, if I was showing up for the people I loved. And paradoxically, that's when real confidence appeared. Not the fragile kind that needs constant validation, but the quiet kind that comes from knowing you're living in integrity with your values. When you combine all three truths, competence over dominance gives you real skill and value. Connection over isolation gives you resilience and belonging. Purpose over ego gives you direction and meaning. This is how men achieve genuine strength, not the performed, fragile, exhausting alpha male cosplay, but the deep, quiet, unshakable strength that comes from being a whole human being who builds, connects, and serves. This is what it actually means to be a strong man. Drop a comment. Which truth hit you hardest? Number 1, competence over dominance. Number 2, connection over isolation. Or number 3, purpose over ego. Let me know where you're starting. Well, that's it. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you found it helpful, please be sure to give it a like and maybe even subscribe to Deeper Dudes. And hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. It all helps the channel more than you know, and it also tells us that we should make more content like this. We post videos every other day that tackle real challenges men face. Remember, struggling doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. The fact that you took time to watch this means you're ready for something better. Thanks again for watching and for checking out all the amazing products in the description below. They could jumpstart your healing journey. Catch you in the next one. Deeper Dudes. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, keep thriving.